Chapter 1. The day I died. I remember the rain first. It was cold, sharp, and endless. The world around me blurred under streetlights, and the only thing I could hear was my own heartbeat slowing down. I was lying on the ground, staring at the cracked sky, and wondering if this was how it felt to die. "Ethan, stop being dramatic," Luna's voice had said earlier. Calm, cruel, the way only she could sound when she knew she'd won. Her words replayed like a curse in my head. I had believed her once. I had trusted her, defended her, even when people whispered that she only stayed close because I made her look smarter, better, more admired. I had laughed it off, because love makes fools out of anyone. And when she finally smiled at Ryan, my best friend, and told everyone I was the one who cheated, I didn't even fight back. I thought she'd come clean. I thought she'd regret it, but she didn't. That night, the whispers turned into laughter. Screens lit up with my face, my messages, my humiliation. And somewhere between the laughter and the silence that followed, I stepped onto that wet road without looking. A car horn screamed, then nothing. When I opened my eyes again, I was back in my classroom, the sound of chalk scratching the board, the smell of fresh paper, my uniform, clean, new, my phone on the desk, screen locked with a date that didn't make sense. April 14th, 1 year before I died. I sat frozen, my hands trembling. My teacher, Mr. Hahn, looked up. "Ethan, are you all right?" I blinked. "Yeah," I muttered automatically, though my voice sounded far away. Students laughed softly in the back. My head turned toward the window, and there she was, Luna Chen, the queen bee of our school. Long hair, soft smile, perfect posture. She turned to look at me, and for a second, the old pain stabbed through my chest. But I didn't flinch. "Good morning," she said sweetly, the same tone she always used before twisting a knife. I stared at her for a moment, then turned away without answering. The classroom fell quiet for a beat. I could feel her confusion. She wasn't used to being ignored. After class, she came up to me. "You're quiet today. Did I do something?" Her voice was warm, but I could already see the hint of irritation under her smile. The Luna I knew in my past life had mastered pretending to care. I forced a calm breath. "No," I said simply. That was all. One word. Her eyes flickered, as if she'd just been slapped. "Okay," she murmured. "Just making sure." I walked away before she could say more. Ryan was waiting near the hallway lockers. "Hey man, you disappeared all weekend. What happened?" His grin, the same fake one from before, made my stomach twist. He didn't know yet. None of them did. "Nothing," I said flatly. He laughed awkwardly. "You sound dead inside, dude." If only he knew. When I got home, my mother called from the kitchen. "Ethan, you're early today." Her voice was soft, full of that tired hope I used to ignore. I stood there in the doorway, looking at her face, younger, less lined. In my past life, I had yelled at her that night, told her to leave me alone. She'd cried quietly behind the door after I stormed out. This time, I just whispered, "I'm home." Her eyes widened. You sound different." "I'm fine, Mom." I gave her a small smile. "Really?" That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed, a message from Luna. "Luna, you seemed off today. Did I do something wrong?" I stared at the text for a long time. In my past life, I would have replied instantly. I would have apologized even if I didn't know why. I would have begged for her attention, thinking silence meant losing her. Now I understood something else. Silence is its own kind of power. I turned the phone over and closed my eyes. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need her apology. I just needed peace. And for the first time, maybe in 2 lives, I slept without crying. Chapter 2. The silence begins. The next morning felt strange. The world looked the same blue sky, the same buzzing classroom, but I wasn't the same person living in it. I sat in my seat, watching sunlight crawl across my desk. Luna was already there, surrounded by her usual group of admirers. Her laugh filled the room, soft and calculated, the kind that told everyone she owned the space. In my old life, I would have been sitting beside her, listening, smiling, pretending to fit into her perfect little world. Now, I kept my distance. When she noticed me, her smile faltered for half a second, just a flicker, but I saw it. "Ethan," she said, waving, "you're sitting over there today?" I nodded once. "Yeah." "That's new," she said with a playful tilt of her head. You're avoiding me?" I looked at her, really looked, and realized how much power I had given her before. Every word she said used to define my worth. Every smile determined my mood. Not anymore. "Just wanted a quiet seat," I said calmly. Her friends exchanged confused glances. Luna gave a soft laugh, trying to shake off the tension. "You've changed, huh? Mysterious now." I didn't reply. Her laughter died out first. During lunch, Ryan dropped his tray next to mine. "Man, everyone's talking about how cold you've gotten. What's going on with you?" "Nothing," I said, stirring my rice. "Come on," he pressed. "Did Luna say something? She's worried, you know." I almost laughed. Worried. That word didn't belong to her. In my past life, when she spread rumors that I cheated on her, she said the same thing, that she was worried about my mental state. People believed her. Now I just looked up at Ryan and said, "Tell her not to worry." He frowned. "Dude, seriously, she thinks you're mad at her. You two used to be close." "Used to be." Ryan blinked. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means I'm done pretending." He stared at me for a moment, as if trying to decide whether I was joking. Then he forced a laugh. "You're acting weird, man. People are gonna start asking questions." "Let them." He left a few minutes later, muttering something under his breath. By afternoon, the whispers had already begun. Did they break up? No, they weren't dating, right? Luna looks tense today. I ignored all of it, every sound, every stare. When class ended, I was packing my bag when a soft voice spoke behind me. "You're different lately." I turned. It was Maya Lynn, a quiet girl who sat near the window. She was the kind of person people often overlooked. Gentle, polite, always reading something. "Different how?" I asked. She shrugged, smiling faintly. "You don't talk much, but you look calmer. Happier, even." I tilted my head. "You can tell that from silence. Sometimes silence says more than words." She paused, then added softly, "It makes people uneasy when they can't read you." That line stuck with me. Maybe that's why Luna looked uneasy now. For the first time, she couldn't predict me. After school, I walked home under the fading light. My phone buzzed. Another message from Luna. "Luna, are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong?" "Luna, you've been ignoring me all day. Can we talk?" In my past life, that message would have made me anxious. I would have typed out 1,000 explanations, trying to calm her, trying to keep her close. This time, I put the phone in my pocket and kept walking. When I reached home, Mom called from the kitchen again. "Ethan, dinner's ready." I walked in, sat down, and for the first time in years, she didn't look worried. "You seem peaceful today," she said, smiling gently. "Did something good happen?" I thought about Luna's frown, Ryan's confusion, and Maya's quiet smile. "Yeah," I said quietly. "Something good happened." Mom laughed softly. "You're not telling me what it is." I smiled a little. "It's nothing big. I just stopped talking." She chuckled. "That doesn't sound like you." "I know." I looked at my reflection in the window. "That's the point." That night, as I lay in bed, the silence around me felt alive, heavy but comforting. People always said revenge was sweet. But maybe, I thought as I drifted to sleep, silence tastes better. Chapter 3. Her crack show. It started small. Little shifts in her voice, tiny hesitations in her smile. Luna Chen, the girl who could charm anyone, had begun to falter. By Wednesday, I could feel her eyes on me every time I walked into class. Her voice no longer carried the same effortless confidence. It trembled beneath the surface like glass about to crack. I didn't speak to her. I didn't need to. Silence had become my sharpest weapon. During morning announcements, she leaned over my desk. "You've been distant lately," she said softly, the fake sweetness dripping through every syllable. "Did I do something?" I kept writing my notes. "No." "Then why do you keep ignoring me?" she pressed. "You weren't like this before." I looked up. "Maybe that's the problem." Her lips parted slightly. "Excuse me." "Maybe before, I talked too much." Her face twitched, only for a second, but I caught it. Her perfect mask slipped. "I'm just trying to help," she said quickly, forcing a laugh. "You've been acting strange." I smiled faintly. "Strange how?" "Cold, quiet. It's not like you. Maybe you never knew me." That shut her up. She stared at me like she didn't recognize the person sitting in front of her. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she never would. At lunch, the whispers started again. Not about me this time, but about her. Did you see Luna today? She looks tired. I think Ethan's ignoring her. Maybe they fought. I pretended not to hear. Ryan dropped his tray beside mine again, his expression tight. What the hell's going on between you and Luna? Nothing. Bullshit. He leaned in, lowering his voice. She's been in a mood all week. If you're doing this to get attention, man, it's not funny. I put my chopsticks down. You really think this is about attention? Ryan frowned. Then what's it about? Peace, I said. He blinked. Peace? Yeah, you should try it sometime. He stared at me like I'd just insulted him, then scoffed and stormed off. It was almost funny. That afternoon, Luna posted a photo online, her smiling under cherry blossoms, captioned, "Some people change for the worse." The comments were full of sympathy. "Ignore him, Luna. You deserve better. He's just jealous." I didn't care. The old me would have replied, defended myself, tried to fix her image of me. Now I simply turned off my phone and focused on my work. But the next day, I noticed something different. People were whispering again, but this time about her. She's been so dramatic lately. Did you hear she posted that right after Ethan ignored her? She's obsessed. By lunch, her perfect smile looked thinner, tighter. Her jokes didn't land the same way. Even her friends started checking their phones when she spoke. It was subtle, a slow unraveling, but I could see it happening in real time. When she caught me watching, she stood up suddenly and walked toward me. "Ethan," she said, her tone trembling between anger and desperation. "What are you doing to me?" I blinked. "Doing to you?" "Yes," she snapped, her voice too loud. A few students looked up. "You ignore me, you act cold, and everyone's turning against me. What did I ever do to you?" For a moment, I almost laughed. "What did you ever do to me?" But I didn't. Instead, I looked at her and said, "Nothing. You did. Nothing." And I walked away. That night, I got another message from her. "Luna, I don't understand you anymore. Luna, you used to care about me. What happened?" I stared at the screen for a long time before typing a single reply. Me. I woke up. Then I turned my phone off. The next morning, when I walked into class, Luna didn't look at me. Her hair was perfect, her uniform pressed, her smile rehearsed, but her eyes were glassy and wild, like someone who hadn't slept. I sat down, silent. Teacher Han entered and began the lecture, his voice calm as ever, but even he paused once, glancing toward Luna's direction. She was staring down at her notes, her pen shaking slightly in her hand, and I realized something simple, something heavy. I hadn't said anything cruel, I hadn't taken revenge, but silence, when left long enough, starts to sound like truth. Chapter 4. The rumor turns. By Monday, the air around Luna Chen had changed. Her friends still sat beside her, but their laughter sounded hollow. Even when she smiled, no one smiled back quite the same way. I didn't start it. I didn't need to. Rumors have a way of finding weak spots, and Luna's mask had too many cracks now. During homeroom, I overheard two girls whispering behind me. "Did you hear? That video Luna posted last week wasn't real." "You mean the one about her heartbreak?" "Yeah. Evelyn said she staged it." I kept my head down, pretending to take notes. Every word they said sank deep into me, but not with joy. More like a quiet confirmation. Karma didn't need help. It just needed time. When class ended, Ryan stopped me near the stairwell. His face was tight, his eyes sharp. "Did you say something to Evelyn?" he demanded. I frowned. "About what?" "About Luna. Don't play dumb." "I haven't talked to her." He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Then why are people saying Luna lied? You think this is funny?" I met his glare calmly. "Do I look like I'm laughing?" "Don't act innocent, Ethan. You're just sitting there, pretending to be all quiet and mysterious, and people are eating it up." I tilted my head. If your relationship depends on people believing lies, maybe that's not my fault. He clenched his fists, face reddening. "You think you're better than us now?" "No," I said. "Just quieter." He stared at me, breathing hard, then turned and stormed off down the hall. The echo of his footsteps faded, but something in me stayed still. Peaceful, even. By lunchtime, the rumors had evolved. She edited the messages. Ryan covered for her. Ethan never said anything, so maybe it's true. Luna walked through the cafeteria with her head high, pretending not to hear, but the tightness in her jaw gave her away. Her tray trembled slightly when she set it down. Evelyn Joe, the girl known for spreading gossip faster than fire, leaned toward her with a smirk. "Rough week, huh?" "Luna?" Luna's fork froze mid-air. "What are you talking about?" Evelyn shrugged. "People just talk. You know how it is." Luna glared at her. "If you're spreading lies—" "Lies?" Evelyn interrupted. "Funny. That's what everyone said about your breakup post." A few people laughed quietly. Luna's eyes darted toward me across the room, cold, desperate, searching for an ally that no longer existed. I looked away. Later that afternoon, Teacher Han called me after class. "Ethan," he said, his tone gentle but firm. "Something's going on, isn't there?" I hesitated. "You mean with Luna?" He nodded slowly. "You two used to be close. Now everyone can see the distance between you." I met his eyes. "I'm not fighting her." "I know," he said softly. "That's what worries me." I frowned. "Why would silence worry you?" "Because silence isn't peace when it's full of noise inside." His words lingered long after I left the room. Was it noise? Maybe. But at least it wasn't pain anymore. When I got home that evening, I opened my phone out of habit. My notifications were full. Messages from classmates, screenshots of Luna's post being deleted, people tagging me in threads. I ignored them all, but one message stood out. It was from Luna herself. "Luna, you're letting them ruin me." "Luna, say something. Please." "Luna, you know I didn't mean to hurt you." My thumb hovered over the screen for a long time. Then I typed, "Me. I'm not saying anything." And sent it. The next day, she didn't show up to class. Ryan sat alone, looking miserable, pretending to study but staring at his phone every few minutes. Maya leaned toward me. "She's not coming back today?" I shook my head. "Probably not." Maya's voice lowered. "You don't look happy about it." "I'm not." "Then why aren't you stopping it?" I looked at the empty desk where Luna used to sit. "Because," I said quietly, "I stopped playing her game." That night, as rain tapped against my window again, I thought about what Teacher Han said. Silence full of noise. Maybe he was right. But this time, the noise wasn't breaking me. It was breaking her. And that was enough. Chapter 5. When she begs for attention. It happened the next day during chemistry. I was sitting at my usual desk, quietly taking notes, when Luna slid into the seat beside me. "Ethan," she said softly, her voice barely above the hum of the classroom. I didn't look up. "Why are you ignoring me?" she whispered. I kept writing. "I'm not." Her hand brushed against mine accidentally. Or maybe deliberately. My heart didn't jump the way it used to. It stayed calm, steady. She pulled back quickly, eyes widening. "You're so cold," she said, her tone almost a plea. "Why won't you even look at me?" I finally glanced at her. The girl sitting beside me, the same one who had ruined my life last year, looked smaller somehow, fragile under her perfect mask. Her hair fell in her face, and her eyes were glistening. Panic danced in them, mixed with something else, something I didn't expect. "You really cared about me once," she said. "Why can't you care now?" "I do care," I replied slowly. "I care about me now." Her lips trembled. I don't understand. You used to be different. You laughed at my jokes, defended me. And now I don't need you to define me." I interrupted, keeping my voice even. She leaned closer, her forehead almost brushing mine. "Ethan, please, just tell me I didn't break everything. I can fix it. I can—" "Stop." I held up a hand, stopping her words mid-flow. "You can't fix the past." Her shoulders slumped. Her hand lingered near mine, hesitant, like she was unsure if she should pull back or hold on. I didn't move. I let her wrestle with the emptiness I'd created simply by existing and refusing to chase her attention. A part of her broke then, silently, not in a scream, not in anger, but in the quiet realization that her power over me was gone. I thought you'd fight for me," she whispered. "I thought you'd, I don't know, care enough to yell, to scream, to hate me, but you just nothing." "That's the point," I said softly. "I've already lived through everything you did. I won't give you another chance to hurt me." She bit her lip and stared down at her notebook. The silence between us was heavy, full of unspoken words, regret, and lingering emotions that neither of us could fully name. Then, in a quiet, almost broken voice, she muttered, "I miss the old you even if you hated me." I felt something twist inside me. Not longing, not forgiveness, not revenge, just acknowledgement. Recognition that the girl who had caused me pain also still mattered in ways I couldn't explain. "I'm not the old me," I said. "I don't want to be." Her eyes glimmered with unshed tears, and for the first time she looked truly human, vulnerable, afraid, real. And I didn't look away. I didn't reach for her either. I just sat there, letting her struggle with what she had lost, while I finally owned what I had gained. The bell rang, slicing through the tension. Luna pulled back quickly, fixing her hair, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Class is over," she said softly. I'll see you later." I nodded once. "If you want." She hesitated, then left, and I sat alone. The silence around me felt heavier than ever, but it wasn't suffocating. It was mine. That night, my phone buzzed. Luna's name flashed across the screen. "Luna, I don't know what to do without you." I stared at it. My thumb hovered. Then I typed a single word. Me. Learn. I turned the phone over and let it rest on my desk. For the first time, I realized something simple. Letting her chase me. Letting her feel the consequences of her past actions was more intoxicating than any confrontation or revenge could have been. And maybe, just maybe, watching her unravel while still carrying the weight of lingering feelings was a kind of justice neither of us had expected. Chapter 6. Ryan's Confession. The day started like any other, but I could feel the tension lingering in the hallways before I even reached my locker. Whispers followed me like shadows. Luna's name, my silence, the growing chaos no one seemed able to contain. Then Ryan cornered me near the stairs, his face tight, hands trembling slightly as he leaned against the railing. "Ethan," he said, voice low. "We need to talk." I raised an eyebrow. "We?" "Yes, Luna, she's—" He swallowed hard. "She's falling apart, and it's partly my fault. I can't—" I held up a hand. "You're admitting that you helped her ruin me last year?" Ryan flinched. "I didn't know she'd go that far. I thought it was just school drama, you know?" I studied him. The old Ryan would have been smug, confident, maybe even mocking. This Ryan was different, fearful, guilty, human. "Go on," I said quietly. He exhaled sharply, his voice trembling. "She's obsessed. She can't function without your attention. She comes to me crying, asking if you're mad at her, asking if she can fix things. I don't know how to help her anymore." I stayed silent, let him fill the emptiness between us with his confessions. "I hate it," he said. "I hate watching her break down like this, and I hate that I can't stop it. She really liked you, Ethan, and I didn't stop her when I should have." I looked at him squarely. "And now?" Ryan shook his head. "Now I don't know. I needed to tell you. I can't be the only one carrying this." I didn't reply. I just nodded once, letting him spill his guilt like water over dry ground. He backed away slowly, muttering, "I hope you forgive me someday." By lunch, Luna's absence was glaring. Her usual table sat empty. Her friends clustered around awkwardly, glancing at each other like they didn't know what to do. Maya leaned toward me quietly. "She's gone again." "She's learning," I said softly. Maya frowned. "Learning what?" "That actions have consequences," I replied. "She had power over me before. Now she doesn't. That's new to her." Maya hesitated. "Are you happy about that?" I shook my head. "Not really." "Then why?" she asked, voice quiet. "Because I'm not her anymore," I said simply. "I can't live like that. I won't let anyone define me again." Maya nodded, but I could tell she was conflicted. She wanted me to feel something, anger, satisfaction, anything. But I didn't. Later that afternoon, Ryan sent me a text. "Ryan, she keeps asking about you. She said she can't sleep, can't focus. I don't know how long she'll last like this." I stared at the screen, thumb hovering over my phone. I typed back simply, "Me, let her learn." It was cold. It was detached, but it was honest. And somewhere deep inside, I knew that letting her struggle, letting her feel the weight of her mistakes, was more powerful than any confrontation. That evening, Luna's message came again. "Luna, Ryan told you everything, didn't he? Please, I just want to see you, talk to you. I don't care what you say. I just need—" I didn't respond. Instead, I put the phone down and looked out of the window. Rain tapped softly against the glass like a quiet reminder of the past, of pain, of growth. I had learned something too. Revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, slow, unstoppable, and it's far more satisfying when the person who caused you pain watches their own mistakes unfold, powerless to stop them. I leaned back, closed my eyes, and for the first time in years, felt unshakable, because this time I wasn't running from heartbreak. I was standing still and watching everything break around me. Chapter 7. The Collapse. I noticed her before anyone else did. Luna Chen, the queen bee, the girl who once ruled my world. She didn't walk into class that morning. Her desk sat empty, a cruel reminder of the power she used to wield. By second period, the whispers started. Where's Luna? She's sick, I think. Or maybe she's avoiding Ethan. I didn't answer. I didn't care. But by third period, she appeared, disheveled, hair falling over her face, her eyes red and glassy. She tried to force her usual smile, but it was thin, trembling, fake. My heart didn't tighten. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't even angry. I was watching. She came straight to my desk. Ethan! Her voice cracked. Why are you doing this to me? I looked up slowly, calm as ever. Doing what? You know what? She shouted, voice echoing in the suddenly quiet classroom. A few students turned to stare. You ignore me. You act cold. And everyone knows. I can't stand it. Then why did you expect me to fight for you? I asked quietly, letting my words slice through the tension. Her hands shook as she grabbed the edge of my desk. I thought you cared. You thought wrong, I said simply. Her tears fell freely now, unrestrained. I ruined everything, didn't I? I destroyed your life, and now you don't even hate me. You don't even care. Care about you? I repeated softly. That's over. I care about me now, and I don't need your validation anymore. She staggered back, her chest heaving, every ounce of her confidence crumbling. I could see it all. The mask she wore for so long had shattered completely, and the girl underneath was raw, desperate, afraid. She began, voice trembling. I didn't mean, you didn't know. I cut her off. You lied, you manipulated, you humiliated me, and you still expect an excuse. Her head dropped. Her fingers dug into her notebook, gripping it so tightly the pages bent. A few students whispered behind her, eyes darting between us. The social hierarchy had shifted. People were watching her unravel while I sat calm, untouchable. She looked up at me then, finally meeting my eyes. Why can't you yell at me? Why won't you hate me? I leaned back, letting her stare. Because yelling doesn't matter. You're already breaking yourself. That's all the justice I need. Her shoulders shook, silent sobs racking her body. Her perfectly curated image, the queen bee, untouchable and adored, was gone. All that remained was a girl who realized she had lost control, completely. I felt no triumph, no satisfaction, just peace. I could hear her whisper, barely audible. I didn't think it would feel like this to lose you. Then maybe you should have thought, I said softly, standing and gathering my bag. Silence can teach what words never could. She didn't answer. She didn't need to. The sound of her quiet sobs followed me as I walked out of the classroom. By the time I reached the empty hallway, her friends had drifted away, unsure of what to do. Luna sat at her desk, head in her hands, trembling. I glanced back once, letting the moment sink in. I didn't move to comfort her. I didn't gloat. I just left. Outside, the sun had started to break through the clouds, warm, steady, constant. And for the first time in a long time, I felt the weight of the past lift from my shoulders. I had survived. I had grown stronger. And Luna was learning the cost of her own actions. For the first time, I realized something important. Revenge isn't about hurting the other person. It's about reclaiming yourself. And now, nothing could take that from me. That night, my phone buzzed with one new message from her. Luna. I don't know who you are anymore. I stared at it, thumb hovering. Then I typed one word. Me. Neither do I. And I turned the phone over, letting her face her consequences while I embraced my own peace. Chapter 8. The weight lifts. The day Luna didn't show up to school, it was quieter than I expected. No whispers, no sideways glances, no urgent messages from Ryan. Just a calm, empty hallway and the familiar sound of my own footsteps. I sat at my desk in homeroom feeling lighter, strange, almost foreign. A year of tension, pain, and waiting had finally dissolved into silence. Not the suffocating silence of before, but one I controlled, one I chose. During lunch, Maya slid into the seat across from me. She gave me a small, knowing smile. "She's gone, huh?" she asked softly. I shrugged. "For now, maybe for good." "She looked broken," Maya said quietly, staring down at her tray. "I never thought she'd actually fall apart like that." "She did," I said simply. "And it wasn't me who broke her. It was her own choices, her own actions. She just had to see them for herself." Maya nodded. You're stronger than I thought. Silent, but unshakable." I smiled faintly, a small weight of pride tucked behind the quiet. "I guess I finally learned how to protect myself without fighting every battle out loud." After school, Ryan cornered me in the stairwell again. His face was pale, nervous, regret written across every line. I need to apologize," he said, voice low, "for everything last year, for Luna, for not standing up for you. I was stupid, and I held up a hand. "I know. You're sorry. That's enough." He blinked, relief and surprise warring on his face. "You're not angry?" I shook my head. "Anger doesn't fix the past. Silence does, in its own way." He nodded slowly. "I wish I could have seen that sooner." "You will," I said. "Eventually. Maybe that's the lesson here, for everyone." That evening, I walked home under the setting sun. The sky glowed orange and pink, calm and forgiving. I thought about Luna, about the way she had chased me, begged me, and finally realized she couldn't control me. I didn't feel satisfaction. Not exactly. More like closure. The chaos, the betrayal, the heartbreak, all of it had passed through me, and I had survived. I had grown. My phone buzzed. Another message from Luna, though I barely glanced at it. "Luna, I need time. I don't know if I can face you." I smiled faintly, putting the phone away. Time was hers, and I had mine. That night, lying in bed, I reflected on everything. The year that had been stolen from me, the friends who had abandoned me, the lies, the heartbreak, the humiliation. And yet, through it all, I had found strength. I had found calm in silence. I had reclaimed my own life, my own mind, my own peace. I thought about my mother, about Maya, about Ryan, all the people who mattered, who hadn't betrayed me. I realized I didn't need the approval of someone like Luna to define who I was. I had changed. I had survived. And for the first time, I felt free. Days passed. Luna didn't return to school for a while. Her posts online slowed, then stopped. Ryan seemed lighter, less guilty, finally able to enjoy his own life without carrying the weight of my past. I focused on myself, on my studies, on my passions, on the quiet victories that didn't need applause. One evening, I sat by my window watching the city lights flicker. The rain returned softly, tapping against the glass, a gentle reminder of the past, but no longer threatening. I smiled faintly. The silence I had chosen, the distance I had maintained, had done more than I could have imagined. I hadn't sought revenge. I hadn't chased her down. I hadn't yelled or cried. I had simply existed, unchanged, and in that quiet existence, I had won. The next morning, I walked into school, calm, confident, unshakable. Some things in life break you, others teach you, and I had finally learned how to stand again, stronger, wiser, and free. Chapter 9. Aftermath. By the following week, Luna didn't return to school at all. Her desk remained empty, a quiet monument to the chaos she had once created. The hallways felt different, less tense, less weighted by whispers. People still glanced at me sometimes, but now it was curiosity, not gossip. I watched it all unfold from my seat. Not out of pride, I didn't feel triumphant, but out of quiet observation. I wanted to see how things settled when her influence was gone. Ryan approached me during lunch, a tentative smile on his face. "She hasn't come back," he said softly. "Do you feel anything?" I paused, thinking. "No," I admitted. "Not anger, not satisfaction, just calm." Finally. He nodded slowly. "I thought I'd be glad. But I guess this is better." "Better," I agreed, "because now things are real, not manipulated, not controlled, just life." Maya sat down beside me, her eyes warm. "You look different, Ethan. Happier, stronger." "I am," I said quietly. I finally realized that letting go is more powerful than holding on, And silence can teach lessons words never can. She smiled faintly. So, you don't miss the old chaos? I shook my head. No, I don't. Not anymore. I finally get to focus on me, my life, my choices. The week passed quietly. Luna's friends slowly dispersed, some transferring to other schools, others keeping their distance. The rumors about her faded. In her absence, the social hierarchy shifted. She was no longer untouchable. The queen bee was gone, and no one mourned her power. I didn't gloat. I didn't celebrate. I just existed, moving forward. One evening, my phone buzzed. A new message from Luna. Luna, I think I understand now. I lost control. I lost everything I thought I could keep. I'm sorry. I stared at it for a long time, thumb hovering. My first instinct wasn't to reply. My second was curiosity, but I knew the lesson had already been learned. I typed one word, me, goodbye, and I turned the phone over. That night, lying in bed, I reflected on everything that had happened. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the humiliation, the silence that had become my shield. I had survived. I had grown. And I had done it without seeking revenge, without destroying anyone. The realization settled over me, like warm sunlight after a long storm. Power didn't come from others fearing you or loving you. Power came from within, from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and refusing to let anyone take that away. The next day at school, life resumed as normal. Ryan laughed again. Maya studied quietly at her desk, and I walked through the hallways with my head held high. People noticed. Whispers circulated again, not about betrayal or chaos, but about the calm strength I carried. I didn't chase the attention. I didn't need it. Weeks later, Luna's final message came. Luna, thank you, I think, for everything. I smiled faintly, setting the phone aside. Her journey, her growth, her reckoning. It was hers, not mine. And for the first time, I realized I didn't need anyone to validate my life, my choices, or my peace. I had learned the ultimate lesson. Some battles aren't won with anger or confrontation. Some victories are quiet, internal, and invisible to the world. I had taken back my life, my mind, my strength, and nothing, not even Luna, could take that away. The silence I had chosen, it had done more than words ever could. And in that silence, I had finally found myself. Chapter 10. Forward Path. The first day of spring felt different. Warm sunlight streamed through the classroom windows, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel the weight of the past pressing on me. I walked through the hallways with ease. People glanced, some whispered, but I didn't flinch. I had learned long ago that the world only has the power we allow it to have. At lunch, Maya slid into the seat across from me, her eyes bright. "You look peaceful," she said softly. "I am," I replied. The words felt natural, unforced. For the first time, my peace wasn't temporary. It wasn't a shield. It was mine. "You really changed," she said with a small smile. "You're not the same Ethan from last year." "I'm not," I admitted. "And I won't be again." We shared a quiet laugh. It wasn't about anyone else. Not about Luna. Not about Ryan. Not about the rumors. It was about life. Simple. Steady. Ours. Ryan came by, his usual nervous energy replaced by something calmer. "Hey," he said, leaning against the wall. "Just wanted to say thanks for showing me what real strength is. Not shouting, not revenge, just standing your ground." I shrugged lightly. It wasn't about showing anyone. I had to do it for me. He nodded. "I get it now. I hope we can move forward." "We can," I said simply. Weeks passed. Luna didn't return to school. Her messages slowed, then stopped. I didn't feel relief or triumph. I felt free. Free from expectations, free from manipulation, free from the past. I spent my afternoons reading, drawing, and studying. Small things, things I had ignored when the world demanded my attention. I found happiness in quiet victories, in moments untouched by drama. It was strange at first. Peace felt foreign, but the longer I stayed in it, the more I realized how strong I had become. One evening, I walked home as the sun dipped below the horizon. The sky was streaked with orange and pink, calm and forgiving. I thought about everything that had happened, the betrayal, the heartbreak, the quiet revenge I had wielded without lifting a hand, and I understood something crucial. The world would always try to control you, manipulate you, or break you. But the real power isn't in controlling others. It's in controlling yourself. I had learned to protect my heart, to stand quietly while chaos fell around me, to reclaim my life without harming anyone unnecessarily. And that power, that calm strength, felt like a gift I would never waste again. That night, my phone buzzed once. A new message from Maya. Maya, you're amazing, you know. I hope you know that. I smiled, typing back simply, me, I'm learning. I put the phone down and looked out of the window at the city lights. The rain had returned softly, tapping against the glass like a gentle reminder of the past. Not threatening, not heavy, just there. I leaned back, letting the quiet fill the room. It was no longer a weapon. It was a companion. For the first time, I didn't feel the need to chase anyone, to fight anyone, or to justify myself. I existed fully in the moment, grounded in my own strength, my own choices. Life would go on, people would come and go, friends would shift, and challenges would arise. But I was ready. I had learned the ultimate lesson. Strength isn't measured by how loudly you fight. It's measured by how calmly you survive, how quietly you endure, and how fully you live on your own terms. And now, I could. I closed my eyes, letting the peace settle into me, deep and unwavering. The past was behind me. The future was mine.